Norcal Chevy Girl at C10 Slodown with shots by AR.
So when and how did you get it?
I got this truck in 2023 September. I lost my dad and someone told me to have a purpose. And I told my two closest friends at the time I wanted a truck after going to cruising PCH and seeing Phytech Mike's truck. And that's how this journey began.
Nice. What got you into trucks?
When I was a little girl, I grew up out in Hollister. If anybody knows anything about Hollister, it's motorcycles from Hollister Hills and four-wheel drive trucks. Ever since I could drive, I've wanted a truck. My mom told me no, got married, my husband told me no, COVID hit, and I lost my dad, and all I could think about was owning a truck. So I bought a brand new Chevy Silverado four-wheel drive in 2020, and then I found this in 2023.
When and how did you get it?
I was very fortunate when I came back from cruising PCH for, I believe, the second time, possibly third. I had seen the truck that Phytech Mike had driven, and I made mention to one of my really good friends, Jay Weezy, that I wanted a truck. I told him that my inheritance had come through and all I could think about was getting a C10. And within 2 hours, he found this truck about 45 minutes north of Geyserville. So we went out, checked it out, and shook on it. And I was very fortunate. And what would have been a $15,000 truck, I ended up getting for $9,500.
That's a good deal. And what got you into trucks?
When I was a kid, I always wanted to relate to my dad. I was the oldest of 3 children and didn't have a whole lot in common with my dad. My dad was a biker and my sister liked bikes and grew up riding like dirt bikes and stuff. But I wanted to relate to my dad. So I thought as a kid, if I could remember every single Chevy, that maybe me and my dad would have something in common. So he always had Chevy trucks. And I thought someday when I get old enough and I could buy my own vehicle, I'm going to buy myself a Chevy truck. So that's how I got into it. From probably about the age of 4 or 5, I started recognizing Chevys, what years they were. Didn't know anything about the specs, the engines, but through this truck ownership, I've learned how to build. I'm officially a garage builder.
What age did you start driving?
I started driving when I was 9 years old, believe it or not. My dad, being a biker and being in that lifestyle, he wanted us to be safe. So my dad took me out in Piscinas, California to the old Almaden Vineyard runway and put me in a little stick shift car and taught me how to drive stick shift at 9 years old. I used to kill it all the time because I couldn't reach the clutch, but eventually I got the hang of it and I started driving when I was 9 years old.
Nice. Have you ever had any accidents?
I've had probably about 5 accidents, but none of them were my fault. I'm a very aggressive driver and I have been hit a lot of times. I have a modern day Camaro. That thing's been painted 5 times from people hitting me coming into my lane.
What mods have you done or will you do?
In here?
Yeah, in this one.
Okay. In this truck, we originally got it. It's a 1970 GMC C10. An owner from a vineyard had it. It was all original, including the brake lines. Literally dissolved in your hand when you touched them, as well as all the air ducts. So when we got it, it was a 307, very sluggish. It had a 2-barrel carburetor. So with the help of my best friend, who we worked together at United, who owns a 1970 Camaro that he's built up with a 350, we were very fortunate. One of my followers gave me a 350 and another one gave me a 327 Super Sport out of an Impala. And together we rebuilt the engine. So Tom and Jack's, the late Jack Shaw, redid my brakes as well as my distributor. Everything else has been me and my best friend. So we have a 350 in there, Edelbrock carburetor, 4-barrel. There's Greer drive, no more timing chain. We changed out all the rockers, spark plugs, distributor, caps and spark plugs. What else did we do? We have a double pump oil pressure and put in a radiator, fan, double, and I'm trying to think of what else. I know there's quite a bit. There's a long list of what I've done to this truck, as well as new tires. The tires are wider in the back. Redid the shocks, the undercarriage, and patinaed it so far. But we're not done. We have a lot more to go.
What do you plan on doing?
The next things I plan on doing is body work. So my cousins are the reason that I really got into the game when I was a kid. When my dad used to ride out for bike runs, I used to hang out with my cousins who were 10 and 5 years older. They've had El Caminos since they were 15 and 18. So that's where I wanted to learn how to build. But being a girl, my dad never wanted to teach me those things. I knew basics, like how to change a tire, how to do my oil, but my dad is the reason that I never worked on an engine. So I had that opportunity with my best friend. And like I said, the next couple things that I'm gonna do is hopefully the body work. We're gonna eventually paint it. The next thing I'm gonna do is slap some Poppy's patina on it and tint the windows. I'm gonna even tint the front windshield. There's a guy in San Mateo that does it because he has a C10. So those are the next things. Eventually get some lights. I'm kind of up and down about if I want to do Novolux or Dapper. Haven't quite decided. Oh, before I forget too, I have X pipes. I learned how to weld, and I have the neighbor haters as far as exhaust. I have 2.5 inch pipes, and it's dumped in the back.
What trucks inspire you?
So when I started this, I didn't know a whole lot of people. The more I got out, and mind you, in 2024, there wasn't a show I did not attend other than Dino's Get Down because I broke my wrist. So I became well known because anything anybody invited me to, I was there. So going down to Cruisin' PCH 3 times, I got to meet Heck, the original founder, and I love his Slam C10 first gen. I like Phytech mics, 2nd gen C10. And I also really admire Ibarra Customs, Jose Ibarra. He has a really nice story of how his truck came to be, and met him down in Cruisin' PCH, and his story is really unique. So I would have to say those are my favorite SoCal. As far as NorCal goes, Stockton Cruise Nights had a really beautiful 75 C10. He sold it recently. It's in Pennsylvania now. Alex Rosales, San Jose Timeless. Love his 3100. Was his grandfather's, and he, like me, has rebuilt it. Has an LS swap in it, and neighbor haters also. So, and then as far as first gen C10 long bed, obviously Barrier Club, Steve Nelson. Really, really admire his long bed. And then my best friend growing up has a GMC 4-wheel drive custom. That's a truck I've known since I was 15 years old. So that truck he still owns and has had it all these years later, as well as the other GMC that I really admire is Ghost 72, Eric Renteria. He has exactly the same thing I have, but his is a really unique metallic primer, and that's who I ride out with.
What builders or YouTubers inspire you?
I have to say my inspiration, first one is Ibarra Customs. Ibarra Customs is really the reason I wanted to get a truck besides Phytech Mike because I saw how he was building up his engine, and I thought if he could do it, I could. And once I became friends with him, he was a really big inspiration to me because of the father story. So Ibarra Customs in the SoCal is my favorite garage builder. In the NorCal, I would have to say I have two. So Brian Battolini is, everybody knows him from his K5. He has like a mint green K5 with the white top. And he was here last year in the winner's circle. And he's always a favorite at C10 Intervention as well as Good Guys in Pleasanton. And then Gary Cadbaum, he owns 3 very unique vans. He's got Disco Van, Van Slam, which is a green Ford Econoline that has a Chevy engine in it. And then he also has Van King, which is a 4-wheel drive van that he literally redid the whole thing to resemble Iron Maiden. So he's got 26 vehicles in his fleet. He's been on every possible magazine, car show you can imagine. Gary is the one that provided everything inside of my C10, as well as, like I said, he owns 26, and his Van Slam has been photographed by Dead End, as well as he is famous in Japan. So he is my inspiration for the NorCal, along with Brian.
If you could have any truck, which one would you pick?
Any truck, modern or old?
Any truck,
Any truck. Huh, that's a hard one. I probably, honestly, probably my best friend's truck, because it's the truck I've driven around in the longest. It's been a childhood truck that we've experienced loss with. I can honestly say when we were growing up, we lost one of our friends in our circle. And I remember being in that truck and listening to Randy Travis and George Strait's Oceanfront Property. So I've made the most memories in that truck. And it just holds a special place in my heart because his parents are gone now. And growing up in a small town like Hollister, your friends or your family, you have those bonds for the rest of your life. And honestly, out of all the trucks, because I've seen a lot, I would have to say it would be my best friend's truck, hands down. The step-side 4-wheel drive GMC Custom.
In your opinion, what's the best and worst brand to buy and why?
Okay, obviously the best brand to me to buy is the General Motors family, but I prefer the Chevy. Even though, like I said, this is partially a GMC, I would have to say I feel like they're the most reliable. My name came about because my best friend, who's my mechanic, Fireball, named me that. I had a modern day Camaro and I used to use Waze, and I had my full name, and I didn't know you could send messages back and forth on Waze, and guys would come up to me and ask me for my phone number in my Camaro. So he told me I had to have an alias, which is Norcal Chevy Girl, and he came up with it because I grew up in the NorCal. I only drive Chevys, and I'm a girl. So I would definitely have to say I have a 2012 45th anniversary Camaro. I have a 2020 4-wheel drive Silverado, and then I have this. So hands down, like I said, Chevy. Didn't realize till I started doing this that both my sides of my parents, my dad and my mom, both their families only own Chevys. So I think it's just, you know, in my head instilled. I'd have to say the worst car I would ever get is a Ford. Sorry, found on the road dead. I love Lincoln Continentals. They are made by the Ford family. I owned a Land Rover that had a Ford engine. The man I married had an F-150. That thing broke down all the time. So, and it was a stick shift. So you would have thought it would have been a little bit more reliable, but it wasn't. I have a lot of good people that are daily inspirations for me. TP Custom Shop, Cadbaum, Idaho Wednesday Nighters, Jay, California Car Scenes, Jason also. Jason has been with me from the beginning when I started this page, and he's always kept me safe at all the ride outs. So I have a lot of good people, Mario Sosa also is a really good one, and Tony LaFawn from Asphalt Social Club, one of my biggest supporters. And female is Jamie, Old Car Picnic, and my VP, Sandy, Beauty and the Stang. Very, very good people to me. So I'm very grateful for them.
And where can we find you? Your Instagram, YouTube, Facebook?
So I don't have a Facebook for the truck. I do Instagram. It's Norcal Chevy Girl and Instagram. And then I also have TikTok. It's Moni Chevy, also Norcal Chevy Girl on TikTok. And I post all the events for NorCal and anything for SoCal that I'm invited to. So up to date in my photo albums, you can see upcoming events for everything I support and plan on attending.
Any advice or words of encouragement to the younger generation watching?
So I have a lot of advice when it comes to doing this. Being a female in this industry, having a father that inspired me to believe that I could do anything I wanted to do in life, I can honestly say I'm very grateful to that. So people like Barbary with the Square Body Ladies is a very big inspiration, as well as the same thing I'm trying to do to inspire other females to purchase classics, to get your hands dirty. It's been one of the best experiences of my life. I was a very quiet kid, shocker, I know, but I was a very quiet kid. This has given me a lot of confidence, a lot of inspiration. I can get cocky every now and then because I'm proud that I've been able to do this. I'm proud that I can go to all the shows that I go to, from Hot August Nights to Cruisin' PCH, down to Slodown. I'm very fortunate to have the support I do with my family as well as my best friend to get me from point A to point B. So my advice is to take a chance to live your life. I started this page because I lost my dad. Didn't really have a purpose. Somebody told me to have a purpose, and it's blown up into something that I never could have imagined. And I would have never started if it wasn't for losing my dad. My dad lived his best life. My dad went to Cabo every year to marlin fish. He went to Colorado to deer hunt. He drove his Harley to Sturgis every year. My dad lived life. And the one thing I've learned, because I've lost 76 people in 5 years, is to live your life. Get up, be thankful every day that you get to get another chance at life. Don't let anything hold you down. Live your best life. Drive your shit is what I'm known for saying since this page began. And I would encourage anybody that has that opportunity to get out and experience. Even if you don't have a classic, come out, talk to somebody, learn about their build, learn about their stories. You'd be surprised how many people you can relate to from this. And I would also encourage any female that's in this scene to do something like I did. I was in the NorCal, I was riding out with all these guys to a lot of ride outs, and somebody told me start a ride out, and I did. I started Cruise for a Cause for cancer. We raised $1,500 last year, the year before, for cancer, for one of our Timeless sisters on her behalf who had fought cancer. So I would encourage any females in the industry to empower other females and get out and do what you got to do to make your presence known and say, hey, we're here and we stand out too.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Let's get a hug.
It.